One of the questions that we get is, how long is this installation going to take? So I thought I'd just walk you through this kind of real quick. So typically, the process is divided into the sales process, the engineering process, the permitting and procurement process, the installation, and then the interconnection. So the sales process, I mean, that's kind of an open architecture that could take as quick as a day. It could take as long as a month. I mean, that really is kind of between the salesperson and the homeowner or the business owner. The point is, I would say, not that's a process that we don't want to rush. We want to make sure that we're getting the exact right system, for the homeowner or the business owner. Once we have the contracts and paperwork locked in, the next thing we do is we go to the site survey. The site survey is where we come to the property. We're going to really kick the tires. We're going to get on the roof. We're going to get in the attic. We're going to take the cover off the electrical and make sure we're understanding what's happening in the electrical panel. Take measurements. If there's anything specific that the homeowner wants or business owner wants to really make sure that we understand, that's the time that we really go through that kind of custom stuff. The site survey itself should usually take a couple of hours, and it will usually occur within a week at the most of when you actually sign the contract. From there, it's a little bit of a quiet period. From there, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks where you're not going to hear much from us. Maybe a, hey, we don't have much to tell you update, but we are working, although there really isn't much to say. Essentially, we're in engineering once we finish the site survey, and things can be very quiet as the engineers are doing what engineers do, which is making that system, exactly right and engineered correctly and something we could submit for permitting. Once we are done with the engineering, we'll show the engineering to the homeowner. Make sure everybody's on the same page and that it matches what we've already planned. Assuming we get that green light, then we move into permitting. Permitting, of course, does vary from county to county, city to city. Some counties are brutal when it comes to permitting. Some counties are lightning quick. Palm Beach County, for example, is unfortunately just very bureaucratic. They're very slow. They're very expensive, and they're just not quick or cheap at kind of anything that happens construction-wise down there. Martin County, on the other hand, is very fast and very inexpensive. So, it really does depend on where you're at in the state. And then your individual city might have a lot as well. The city that I live in has by far the highest permitting, I think in the state, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, so that is next step. So we'll file for the permitting. Once we get the permit in hand, from there we can begin construction. Usually we'll begin that construction within a few weeks, or excuse me, within a couple of weeks, if not a week or so, of getting the permit in hand. The construction process itself is very fast. Typically 1 to 2 days for an average residential system. For a commercial system, obviously, you can go a little bit longer than that. For tile jobs, tile roofs, we're going to take a little bit longer because we're doing a lot of tile work and we're wiggling those tiles out. We want to be really careful putting them back in. So a tile job could take 3, 4, 5 days. But for the most part, the construction is very fast. Once we're done with the construction, then we move into the interconnection. That's where the application to your utility company is completed. We submit that with the past inspection certificate and with any other requirements that the utility is asking of you. The utility technically has 30 days to approve that application or reject it with a reason. And then once they do approve it, then they have 7 days to come out and actually switch your meter. Once the meter is switched, right now you have a single directional meter at your house, and then they will switch that for a bi-directional meter, meaning the power can go both ways. Once that meter is switched, then we just log in remotely and we turn on the system online. So all in, that process that I just described can be as quick as 45 days, as long as maybe 90 days. I would say 60 to 90 days is a fair estimate on what a regular installation should look like. That being said, if you have particular time constraints that you need to adhere to, that's the type of thing we would talk about right in the beginning, and we can tell you whether or not we can hit those time constraints. So in a nutshell, that's what the solar installation process and timeline looks like. And if you have any questions, please let us know.